Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Lou, and welcome to Metal Lens Reviews. Hope you're all doing well. So, if this happens to be your first time here, you're checking out my channel, you like what you see, thank you. Please do me that favor of like, comment, subscribe. As I mentioned before, it really helps me grow the channel, spread it to the masses, and of course motivates me to provide you guys more content to watch. I do a little bit of everything on this channel. It's kind of a mixed bag. Movie reviews, sometimes I'll randomly talk about some historic figure. Big history fan. Unboxing videos here and there. And, a little bit of everything, Mostly music reactions, but, I think I cover a great deal on this channel. Then a little something for everybody. But yeah, let's go to the subject matter of today. And, it's a movie review. Actually, multiple, movies. So I brought in the new year with watching 3 movies, kind of back to back. I spaced them out a little bit. Speaking of that, Happy New Year's. It's 2025, the future. But we have no flying cars. What's the deal here? So anyway, I was like, alright, what better way to bring in the New Year's, aside from partying, so watch a few movies. So, the obvious one, was Nosferatu. It's the most recent film. It came out not too long ago. It actually came out on Christmas. And there was 2 other films I watched that I'm going to talk about too. But the main one is obviously Nosferatu. Like I said, still doing its rounds in the theaters. And one of my favorite directors, Robert Eggers. I love his work. Check him out. He did quite a few decent, very atmospheric, horror, gritty kind of films. The Witch, Northman, The Lighthouse. I think you guys would dig his work if you haven't seen them already. Alright, so Nosferatu. What is it? So basically, with this review, I wanted to just go in talking about how this kind of came to be. Nosferatu, this is a remake. The original was done in 1922, I believe. It was a silent film. If you're familiar with the story of Dracula, or any of the Dracula films, and how that came to be, then you'll probably be familiar with this. So the author or director of Nosferatu wanted to, I think, purchase the rights of Bram Stoker's Dracula, but couldn't. So he borrowed from that novel and kind of created something his own. And there are some parallels, stuff I pointed out right away. There's another Nosferatu. It was done in 1979. It's a German film. I think they're all German film, well, except for this one. But the 79 version had Klaus Kinski, a crazy German actor, do the role as Count Orlok, which is, the vampire, the Dracula, and Nosferatu's story. And I thought that was really well done. Just had a kind of a haunting vibe to it throughout the film. And, check it out, If you haven't seen any of the Nosferatus, I definitely recommend the previous 2. But this one was very beautifully done. And by that, I mean, like I said, the atmosphere, that gothic attitude. The actors. You had a laundry list of good actors. Bill Skarsgård, who played Count Orlok. Willem Dafoe. Lily Rose Depp, who is Johnny Depp's daughter. I mean, great performance, man. I definitely see her career blooming. So the story, basically, if you haven't seen Dracula, it's, so Ellen, which is played by Lily Rose Depp, she's marrying this guy, Thomas, who works for, I think, they sell land throughout England, and this stranger, Count Orlok, wants to buy property in England. So, Thomas is about to get married, and, he wants to kind of, get a raise, pretty much elevate his position at his job. So he takes this, this job on to go to this foreign place. I believe it's Transylvania, very typical, to meet this Count Orlok. And there's a bunch of red flags. He meets gypsies. They tell him don't go. He has these weird fever dreams that may or may not be real. And he meets the guy anyway. And it's such a strange thing. So the look of this Count Orlok Dracula character is way different. Where, if you've seen Count Orlok in the previous versions, you know what I'm talking about. He's not the most attractive guy. Whereas when we're introduced to Dracula in the Dracula movies, comes off as a very esteemed gentleman, you know. Easy to fall for someone like that. But this guy's just a brute, you know. And Bill Skarsgård plays him to the T. I think it was a great performance. He's kept in the shadows a lot, but it's, you know, it works. It works for the movie. The best way I describe him is, if you guys are familiar with, like, you know, Cossacks from Russia, like those, you know, Slavic looking dudes. You know, usually, not all of them, but like a lot of Slavs back in the day had this kind of dress about them, you know, kind of like furry overcoats with like shaven head, but like with hair on the side, and a very well done thick mustache. So this was a very different looking vampire, but he would haunt Thomas's bride-to-be, Ellen, I think her name was, constantly in her dreams. She would go into these crazy fits of like hysteria and just crazy nightmares and visions that she wasn't sure if she was, you know, because she would go back to saying how much she enjoyed these nightmares and be frightened. And, you know, Thomas is just like in the middle of this, like saying, oh my God, what am I getting myself into? But, you know, he loves his bride-to-be, and, you know, he tries to get her help. And then, you know, our ensemble of cast comes in. Like I said, the story is literally Dracula. It's very... I mean, the parallels are just unmistakable. They're there. And I think that was my problem with it. Now, like I said, I love Robert Eggers. I love his work. I love just his pacing, the atmosphere of his films. If you've seen films like The Witch, The Lighthouse, Northman, yeah, phenomenal movies. But, I don't know, but it just felt too familiar. Like I said, they got everything right. Like I said, the atmosphere galore. You know, it had a very gothy kind of feel. They got the location right, the time frame, everything. The horror was there. There was some romance, but I wasn't buying it. You know what I mean? For me, honestly, the best representation, well, I guess for Nosferatu, because I'm not going to compare them too much, Dracula and Nosferatu, but the 79 version I mentioned, the Werner Herzog version of Nosferatu, I thought was better. It just had a kind of different feel to it altogether. But this, like I said, it's eye candy. It's very great to look at. It has some very tense moments. It's a good horror movie to watch, especially on a big screen, maybe a date night, you know. It's great. Like I said, it's really well done, but it's a very familiar story that I'm used to, and I don't know. I think I wanted something more. You know, I'm not sure what I was looking for because of the hype and the talk behind this. But all in all, I was pretty satisfied. But I think when it comes to Dracula or that kind of vampiric mythology, I'm gonna have to go with the '90s versions of Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula. By far, one of the favorite versions of that. Nosferatu stands great by itself, but it's something we're familiar with, just told and filmed in a different kind of way and feel. And I think I said, if you're a fan of Robert Eggers, you're going to pick out his style and you're going to appreciate this film. Also, the cast I thought was spot on. Everyone did a great job, and it's definitely worth going and seeing just for that. Will I revisit it? Will I buy it on Blu-ray? Probably not, but definitely something to watch, I think. There you have it. Alright, so Nosferatu, I don't know. I'm not going to rate it because I feel like other people do that and it just kind of bogs it down. So don't let me be the final judge. Go see it however you see movies. You actually go to the theater, maybe you stream it, whatever. You do you. I say check it out. Give it a chance. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, hey, at least you can tell people about it, right? Alright, so the next one is a film that I heard about, and I kind of sat on it, because it came out, when did it come out? 2023. It was a French movie. Also a vampire film, believe it or not, called Volderak. I'm probably butchering that name. It's a folkish kind of horror film by this It was like a Russian. Yeah, he was a Russian poet. God, it has a huge name. Aletsky Konstantinovich Tolstoy. So yeah, this guy did a lot of folk stories and poems in Russia way back when, and this was one of them. So the Volderak, which I've seen other versions of, but it's probably unknown to, I guess, most audiences. They have no idea if they maybe you come across a similar story or not. Anyway, the Volderak is about this French nobleman. He's like an ambassador that gets lost somewhere in Eastern Europe. It looks like. I want to say Transylvania, but I feel like I'm being redundant when I say that. So think of those kind of areas. And he comes across this family that are just kind of living on the fringe. Like, it's a really well done. It almost looks like a castle they're staying at, but it's like a older brick kind of home, Like I said, it takes place, it's dated. I'm trying to figure out when it actually takes place. All right, 18th century. So it has that kind of feel, but it's not like a castle or a fortress. It's just a stone home / farm, whatever, and this Slavic family's living there. And they take in this Frenchman. He explains their case, and now they're country folk, and he's like a dude in he's all dolled up. He's a court guy from France, so he's got like pasty white makeup, flowy clothes. He looks ridiculous, and they're looking at because these are country Slavs, and they're like, well, what are you doing here, man? But they're cool. They show him hospitality, and they mention the Turks are like interfering with them. The Turks were like, I guess, like the baddies, the Ottomans during this era in this part of the world, and excuse me, and so yeah, they're just waiting for the patriarch of this family, the father, to come home, and he does, and so this caught me off guard. So the vampire in this film, who's like the father, I'm trying to see his name here. What was his name? Gorcha. And so I thought it was just going to be like another actor, playing the role of this vampire, but he was a puppet. He was proportioned size of a normal male human, but he was like it's so bizarre. I don't even know how to describe it. Like a puppet, like just without the strings, And that was a bold move. Like, I don't know. Like, if I'm a director, I don't know if I would have done that. I would have preferred probably someone like in makeup or whatever, But anyway, credits for that. The movie definitely is creepy. It had some comedic elements. Like I said, the culture shock of this French nobleman, trying to settle in and being taken care of by these Slavs who are very country-ish kind of people. Filled with their own, folk tales and this and that. So the father figure of this family comes home, and he's clearly not. He doesn't even look remotely human, and some of them are buying it. But what you see as the movie progresses is the downfall of this family, and that's when shit gets really serious. The director of this film, Adrien Bew. It's a French movie, so if you're not a subtitle guy, this probably won't be your film. But if you appreciate foreign films, especially foreign horror films, The Volderak, I definitely recommend it. It's actually cheap. I think I rented it for like $1 on Amazon Prime. So anyway, yeah, atmosphere. I love the location, and like I said, a bold choice of the villain in this, the vampire. The father figure of this group. Was done by a marionette, like a puppet, some kind of animatronic that was very lifelike and flowy, and there was a lot of fever dream sequences. Like I said, there's a lot going on in this film. It's an easy story to follow. Like I said, it was a story done by this Russian poet, but because I think Volderak means like demon, vampire, werewolf. It has that kind of um, lore behind it, that name. But overall, I liked it. Did I like it, more than the recent Nosferatu? Eh, you know, Probably both on the same level. I give credit because of the Volderak being a foreign film, number one. They're both a rehash of another story that was told previously. So when you're given a remake to do, you want to try and make it unique somewhat, but still faithful to the source material. So the Volderak, like I said, has a lot going for it. Really, really crazy choice of villain. Like I said, the vampire in this, he looks frail and weak, but the way he manipulates and turns his family, and this poor Frenchman is like stuck in the middle of all he wants to do. Like he falls in love with one of the siblings of this family and wants to just take her. Like, come on, we got up, but she's like out there, and controversial, I guess, to the family. There's always that one black sheep. But it plays out really good. It's not overly graphic or horror. There is a few scenes of, blood and this and that. Come to think of it, I don't think Nosferatu was that graphic either. It just had, a few sexy scenes, this and that. But this one, too. This one, like I said, let's call it a gore-ish movie. It's definitely not. It's got blood, disturbing images, but like I said, it's a really well done story. It's cool, and I'm glad I watched it. It's another one I definitely recommend. Just keep in mind it is a foreign film, and if you're into that stuff, though, and you want to try something different, maybe you're jaded with all the other vampire movies that have flooded the market recently. You want to try something a little different, more on the folkish side of horror. Definitely check out the Volderak, and like I said, you could probably stream it right now. Rent it for $1. So, if that's something you feel like watching, I say check it out. It's a different experience. But yeah, we're going to move on to our third film I watched. Oh, so this one, it's like they got trippier as I watched. It's called Rumours, and it's a recent film. Came out. When did it come out? It says 2024. Very, very recent. And this, I don't even know how to classify this because it's a horror movie. It's got horror elements, but it's drama. It's funny. It's a comedy too. The cast is interesting. Kate Blanchett, Alicia Vikander, Charles Dance, all familiar names and acting in movies. So the plot of this one is, so I guess you would throw political horror, comedy, thriller. Like if I had to put this in a box, it would be all those titles of genre. So it's about this G7 summit. So a G7 summit. I think it's a G7 summit. Hang on. Yeah. So a G7 summit is when world leaders get together. In this case, in Germany, a really woodsy forest area of Germany, to discuss world problems, and they all kind of come together, write down their ideas, and kind of talk about them. It's an actual thing. This happens. So in the middle of this, there's like I said, it's a really woodsy, foresty part of Germany where this meeting's being held place, and I guess there's an archaeological dig going on. So they find these bog people that are buried under the ground. They've been there for since the Iron Age, I think. And bog people are basically, people that used to walk the land 2,000 years ago or something, and just kind of remained with their flesh, because the grounds hold a certain kind of preservative or bacteria, whatever, that keeps them intact. Their bones ain't there, but the skin is it's pretty. Type in bog people, you know what I'm talking about. It's wild. So anyway, the movie progresses, whatever, and they're all weird. The cast in this movie, they're all supposed to be world leaders. Canada, Japan, Italy, Germany, they're all represented, but they all have really strange personalities. One's like a player. One's like just like off in his own world, and the American president is just like, I'm too old for this shit kind of deal. And as night falls, shit hits the fan. The horror setting sets in, and this isn't like the other two, a gory graphic movie. But what kept me interested was seeing where they would end up, the characters, because it's a big ensemble cast, and seeing them trek through like this dark forest. I'm like, all right, where's this going? So basically, what happens is those bog people I mentioned come to life. They're like zombies. There's no explanation why. Something apocalyptic happens. There's like a dark, eerie fog that falls over, this forest. And, but to say there's any like zombie action or nothing, no one's getting eaten here. There's a few gory moments here and there. Like someone, one of the members of the G7 crew, she, one of the leaders goes off on a tangent into the woods, and to find this lady. They must have had like an affair or something. It's hinted at, and she's behind a giant brain. There's a giant brain, human brain, in the woods. Okay, it's just fucking there, no reason, no explanation, and it's like affecting her or some shit like that. And like I said, this movie's so bizarre. The imagery, man. It's weird. I gotta see who directed this. So, apparently, there's three of them. Guy Madden, Galen Johnson, and Evan Johnson. Alright, so, like I said, I'm very, very new to their work. Maybe I've seen a movie, but like I said, but yeah, that's crazy. 3 people directed one movie. Anyway, Rumours is, like I said, it's captivating because it's hard to... It's like a mind fuck. Like, what the heck am I watching here, So like I said, you have all these political leaders, a giant brain, you have bog people zombies walking around the forest. Like, the plot is thin, man. Because everyone has to write down, what they want to work on as world leaders, regarding all the nations. And, there's a lot of metaphors here. So it's definitely a political thriller in the sense where, I guess the message the directors were trying to come across is when shit hits the fan, most of our, Western democratic societies, countries, those are usually the more advanced ones. When shit hits the fan, though, they're like, I don't know what to do, who wants to take lead? And it does come to, like I said, there's definitely an apocalyptic event because, like, it's just darkness, there's fog, very eerie atmosphere, There's a giant brain for just no reason. There's a few, like I said, there's a few instances of violence here and there, some blood, some people offing themselves, set themselves on fire. But to say it's a gory movie, no, but it has that sense of dread. But also that's kind of relieved too, because there's these comedic elements sprinkled throughout the film, and it's a dry kind of humor. So it's nothing like slapstick or whatever. Don't think of like, Evil Dead 2. But it's enough comedy in there to be like, what the fuck, And that's what this film was. A big what the fuck, But I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I thought the idea was great. I'm not that much of a political person anymore, but I appreciate the absurdity of politics and how it was interjected with this film. And like I said, it kept you guessing. There's no questions answered in this film. It's literally, we follow, 7 or 8 world leaders who their main purpose was to write down and discuss world problems that they could all tackle as a team, come across the apocalypse. Giant brain, bog people zombies, and a feeling of dread throughout the film, which is, relieved by different comedic events here and there. And it's one of those where you gotta see it to believe it. I'm trying to think, did I rent it? Yeah, I think it was another one I rented. It was very cheap. You could probably catch it for like $3 on Prime. But you really gotta, I would say, watch the trailer first. I'll probably include all the trailers of the films I reviewed down below. Check it out for yourself. Like I said, it's fairly new. It just came out not too long ago. It's got a nice cast, and like I said, if you're like horror, thriller stuff that keeps you guessing, or just strange and odd films, yeah, check out Rumours. It's an interesting take on a horror thriller, political thriller, all comedy, all mashed into one. The end result's very entertaining. Just don't expect to have a proper conclusion, especially the end, which I feel like if I say it, I'll ruin it, because I really want you guys to check this one out, just because of the absurdity of it. And I think it was a good ride. And you know, something, right? It's different, that's for sure. And there you have it. That's Rumours. So yeah, I think out of all the three films, the Volderak definitely kept my attention more. I thought that was a good story. Nosferatu, and then Rumours, if I had to put them in order. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. I didn't hate any of them. I just like some more than others. And if you're into horror and thrillers and, you know, stuff that you maybe, you know, you're not into mainstream, you know, I definitely recommend the Volderak and Rumours. But if you like atmosphere and, you know, great cinematography, Nosferatu definitely will quench your thirst on that. There you have it, guys. That was my 3 movie reviews with Nosferatu, the Volderak, and Rumours. Check them out. I'll leave links down below in case you want to, you know, watch the trailer or something and, you know, see it for yourself. Have you seen any of these films? Let me know what you think. I love hearing from you guys. If you feel like supporting the channel, I'll leave a link down below, below the, you know, IMDb links for these films, just in case you want, you know, reach out and, you know, have me review something or react to, or just want to support the channel. Buy me a coffee. It's going to be titled, and you can just leave that. You know, I'm gonna leave that down below, and, you know, if you want, you can reach out to me that way. Other than that, you know, if you made it this far in the video, thank you. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And there you have it, my friends. That's it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Peace.